I can understand vegetarianism, but why? Don't you think veganism is a bit extreme?
Do you think veganism is a
Can I
bit
go?
extreme?
Do you mind if I come on this side?
Yeah, sure.
He's asking you.
Yeah. No, I don't think veganism's extreme. I think the opposite of veganism's extreme, like using and killing animals for a completely unnecessary reason. I think that's extreme. And veganism is basically not using animals for anything. Because they're not ours to use, they're sentient creatures with their own like subjective view of the reality.
I mean, I find a lot of vegans tend to be atheists or of no faith background. I don't know if that's the case, but that's the majority of vegans I've met.
Yeah.
Seems to be. But as a Christian, as a born-again Christian, the Bible permits me to eat meat. It says everything should be received with thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Everything that God created. I mean, I have 3 dogs at home, and I love them dearly. I wouldn't torture them for pleasure. Yes, I don't agree with torturing, but when it comes to eating animals, God created, according to the Bible, animals for us to use for food and clothing.
Yeah. Well, wasn't it in like pretty much the first verse of the Bible,
Right.
the Garden of Eden? God created a vegan world. He created the vegetables and the
Old
the
Testament,
foods in the
yes,
ground.
that's the Old Testament.
And so that was in the vision of God. Like that was literally in
Yes,
God's
but then
vision.
obviously if we're going to go down a religious
And
path,
then-
Adam sinned. And then,
The devil introduced sin, didn't he? The devil,
Well-
so sin exists because of the devil,
Yeah.
and sin is killing others. So we are the ones that commit that sin, and we can choose not to commit that sin.
right, but again, in the Book of Acts and many other books, we are. So I think what I'm really asking is, I have a lot of health issues. I have iron deficiency. I've got osteoporosis at my age, so I need calcium basically, and the doctors have encouraged me to drink milk.
Yeah, the doctors aren't very educated when it comes to diet, right?
Really?
They're given like very few hours. I mean, that is actually so terrible advice. It's untrue. If you were to go
Me
up
and
and
him are
look
going to
online,
start.
but yeah, I definitely look into. There's a good website, vegan22.com. Look into that.
Okay, I will.
But I'm just going to check to.
No worries.
We can
Yeah.
have a good chat.
All right.
Yeah, I think the camera's rolling, isn't it? Yeah, so we can start. I'll let you take the lead.
Yeah, sure. I suppose what my position is, because we can live perfectly healthy lives, living off plants, I would regard veganism as a moral obligation, because why would we kill others when we have a choice not to?
But basically, the problem I have with veganism is I don't have an issue with many of the other arguments, like the environmental one, maybe even the health one. I don't agree with it, but I'll say, okay, if it makes you happy, and if you think that it's healthy for you, that is okay. I wouldn't argue with someone that says that that you have to eat meat. If the person wants to be vegetarian or vegan, that I'm happy for them if they're happy with it. What I got a problem with is when you say that me killing an animal for food, because I got other options, then me killing an animal for food is somehow wrong. Then I don't accept it. That you guys say that. I got a big problem with people who say that kind of thing. And I think that I don't understand. I mean, you can make your argument, but I don't agree with that.
Okay, yeah, no, I mean, there's loads of analogies and things you can basically use. I don't really use analogies too much. It's basically, I think if you killed another human being for food, when you had options to plants, I imagine you would think that was wrong. We're not in a survival situation. We're literally just killing for our own sensory pleasure in a will. You would never accept killing a human being for that, yeah?
Yeah, so I remember I had a discussion with someone about this, and they said the same thing, that you wouldn't kill a human, so I would kill an animal. But I understand it's kind of, you're using some kind of logic here, right? You're kind of saying that humans, animals are the same, but it's not really the same thing, right? Like, if I got somebody in my family, I'm going to treat that person different to maybe someone like you who I don't know, right?
Yeah.
So just because I treat an animal differently to a human, that's perfectly acceptable as far as I'm concerned.
No, I agree. I agree is interacting with non-humans makes sense that we interact with them differently than we would with our own species. We can communicate with each other. We can share stories. We can evolve together as a species. But that's still not denying the fact that those other creatures that we share this planet with have just as much right to live out their own life, because they value their life. Like, I mean, have you spent time with many animals, like cats and dogs, or like, would you say animals have their own personalities?
I personally haven't spent time with many animals, but I know cultures who do, and not many of them are vegans. Like many traditional cultures spend time with animals, and not all of them are vegans, right? So I'm sure they know more about animals than you because they probably live with them every single day, right? So they don't have any issues with eating them. They might not eat them every day, but I don't think they have an issue like what you have, like some moral issue with eating animals.
Well, the moral issue is because we're taking away their life.
Yeah, so
like they are they can feel pain.
Yeah.
They can suffer.
Yeah.
We have rights. We have laws within our own species. Because we're empathetic to each other. Like because we wouldn't want to be in pain ourselves. We wouldn't want to see someone else in pain. All we're saying, as the vegan message, is basically saying, well, why can't we just extend that circle of compassion?
So this is the issue I have with you, right? With vegans, and I've got a big problem with this, right? Like a really big problem, like a very serious problem, right? Is that veganism, like what you guys are talking about, is a very modern thing, right? And this idea that you have of compassion and the way you guys put it, it seems to be quite a modern thing. Although I think like the Buddhists have some ideas, but I don't know. But I think the issue I have with you is that in a modern society, many people just can't accept that there's going to be some people who are going to suffer and some animals are going to suffer. So for me, it's something which I can't accept a society where they're saying that nobody should suffer and no one should suffer.
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that.
Because then you have to limit people's freedoms, right? Like, because somebody might win and somebody might lose. And if you want to become excellent, or if you want to improve, you gotta make sacrifices, and some people might have to lose. So we evolved because we were dominating other animals. That's how we evolved intelligence, right? But many people have a problem with seeing someone suffer because you're too soft. You get me? The problem is, many people are too soft in the modern world that when they see somebody suffer, they think that they have a moral right to tell someone that you can't make that person suffer. And
well, we have no need to living in the UK, living in London, we have no need to make someone else suffer. No need. So if we don't need to, who are we to impose our will, our way of life on someone who is causing us no harm and just wants to carry on living out their own life, who has just as much right to be on this planet as we do? Like, we're not like so special that like what we offer this world, we should just be able to harm.
But if I eat meat, I'm going to get some taste, right?
You are, yeah.
And some experience, which I'm not going to get that from eating vegetarian, vegan food,
You
right?
can, honestly, you can. Chefs are becoming incredibly creative.
If I eat beef, right, I'm not going to be able to. There's beef, and then there's not beef, If I eat not beef, it's not going to be the same as beef, right? Because beef is a specific thing, right? So whether you make it even exactly the same, it's not going to be the same thing, right?
And does it taste nicer when you know an animal had to die for you to eat that meal?
This is not. What I'm saying is it's not going to be the same thing, right?
It's not going to be the same. Well, I reckon it potentially can be.
What you're doing is you're making a valid judgment, and you're saying that my happiness of eating meat, should be less important than this animal's right to live.
Thing is, though, I'm more worried about the animal's well-being apart. Compared to your happiness and enjoyment. I'm not looking to take away any of your enjoyment, and I want you to live a happy life. I want you to live the happiest life possible. But your happiness shouldn't come at the expense of someone else.
Why not?
Because we're not. There's nothing that we offer this planet that means we should be harming others along the way. Life should be about looking out for each other, protecting each other.
But the thing is, if I harm an animal, I can enjoy some taste, which increases the enjoyment of humanity.
Your enjoyment.
Yeah, it increases my enjoyment.
So you have like a 5-minute taste experience, and the animal loses their entire life.
But that's what all evolution is about, isn't it? Think about it. Like, it's just like, that's the taste experience is driven by my desire to survive and to dominate animals.
I mean, do you have a desire to kill animal? Have you killed an animal yourself?
No, I haven't, but I'd like to one day. But I don't need to be honest. I haven't really thought about it that much. But something which I think, I wouldn't mind doing that. Killing an animal and eating it. But that's just more for like.
And is that all animals? Would you happily kill any animal, including a human? Because we're animals as well.
Well, look, humans don't really have a strong. Maybe it's culture, maybe it's biology, but we don't actually eat other humans.
Some humans.
Some humans do, but in general, we don't. If we were to do it, it might be okay, but we don't. So that's just something that we don't do. Like, it's not part of this debate. It's just something if we were to do it, then it'll be a different discussion, right? But we don't do that, so that's kind of irrelevant. But I think that the problem is I just don't believe that there's any moral justification to saying like an animal, like the life of an animal is because you're actually limiting something now. You're going to lose. If we have the situation we got now, right, we're still going to have everything. Right? We're going to have animals that are alive, and we're going to have humans that can enjoy eating animals. Yeah. So what you want is a world where humans don't enjoy eating animals, right? And probably there'll be less animals alive, but they might have. I mean, I don't know what these animals are going to do, right? What's a cow going to do, right? If there's no like we don't have a need for cows, but we're going to put them somewhere. We're not going to keep them alive,
animals'
right?
value isn't based upon what they offer us, though. It's about how they get enjoyment and pleasure for their own individual experiences.
See, what you're talking about, yeah, is you're part of these like these liberals and these lefties and these.
I'm not really. I mean, I haven't brought up any politics whatsoever.
And these feminists, right? We just don't want to hurt anyone.
What's wrong with that?
They want everyone to be safe. Yeah, we don't want anything to move. Don't move, or you're going to hurt someone.
No,
yeah?
I'm not saying that.
Don't move your hand.
No, I'm not saying that. Hey, I want you to have the fullest and most enjoyment and the best life possible, but that should never come at the expense of someone else.
Yeah, but sometimes it does.
Yeah, but it shouldn't. And
But
you
it has
have
to.
choices.
No, but what you're saying, it's logically incorrect because sometimes one person's victory does come at cost to somebody else. Sometimes it has to happen, and this society. The problem with this society is that it's not incapable of when somebody suffers, right? When an animal suffers or a human suffers, and you feel pity for it, you guys think that because you feel sorry for it, that makes you a better person. But the problem is that you're not capable, okay, of tolerating your own your own pain, because you feel pain for something else. Well, you have to tolerate that pain. You can't say, because I feel pain for this human being, and you don't. You're saying because I don't feel the pain for an animal, and you do. You're thinking you're better than me. But no, I feel pain as well. But I know that pain, okay, that I feel for an animal, that's part of the cycle of life, and the people are going to feel suffering. I know I can take that pain that someone else will suffer. I see them suffer, but I can move through that. But you can't. You see something.
Well, I can. I'm functioning in this world, like even though I know all that suffering is going along, but I'm actively trying to make a difference. I'm actually trying to make the lives of those animals better, and that their pain ends because it's completely unnecessary. That the pain that they have to go through.
What
and
about
enjoy
other pain that people feel in life? Do you think that all pain is unnecessary? What about pain of like let's say there's a person who can't win in a race, who's not good at school, he gets bad grades. Should we give him good grades?
No,
should we just give him good grades?
Of course not.
What about other kinds of pain? Where are you going to stop with your pain stuff?
The stuff that I can control.
Because you're vegan, right? But now you're making these arguments about people should not feel pain. They don't have to.
I never said that. I said those animals that have been caused unnecessary pain, we should be stopping that.
Well, what's unnecessary though? Because
eating them. So using an animal is completely unnecessary. You don't need to use them for food, clothing, testing, entertainment.
But you're wearing clothes unnecessary though. Why are you wearing clothes for? Don't you wear clothes?
No. Like clothes is necessary for my modesty.
But it's not necessary though.
Yeah, but I prefer to be clothed than unclothed.
I prefer to eat meat though.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is,
when
you use the word necessary, but obviously not like for necessary. We probably just survive.
We could argue the word necessary differently.
Exactly.
But eating animals is unnecessary in, say, London especially, because everywhere where we go and buy our animal products, we've got options to plant-based alternatives. So therefore it renders it completely unnecessary. And we fund that. So every time we buy these products, we're funding these industries and telling them keep up the good work, keep on exploiting animals, when we could actually be promoting more ethical businesses, hopefully locally sourced fruits and vegetables from farmers that do care, that don't use pesticides, etc. on their crops, and be promoting those industries. That's better for the planet, better for our own health, and better for the animals.
I kind of agree with everything that you're saying. The only thing I don't agree with is that when you make the argument, okay, because this has implications outside of veganism, okay? When you make the argument that we shouldn't be killing animals, some people make utilitarian arguments, that the suffering of an animal, that nobody should suffer, or living things shouldn't suffer, we got to minimize suffering. This is a very dangerous ideology, that this idea that you've got to minimize suffering, because it comes at a cost. And this ideology, this Western world, the Western culture is always worried about minimizing suffering for like the weak ones, and always trying to sound nice. You're always trying to sound that you're a good person, but underneath it, you're just fake, disgusting.
Do you think
liars.
I'm fake?
The vegan movement is a fake, disgusting, movement. It has no objective morality. It doesn't understand anything, right? It just says that we're good people and you're bad people and you shouldn't
We're
hurt
not saying
anyone.
that. We're not saying that. I'm not saying. I don't think you're a bad person.
You're not saying that, but a lot of vegans make this kind of jump on this kind of thing where it's
Well,
like,
they're passionate people that care about animals being needlessly killed. They've seen horrendous footage and it makes them very passionate, angry, and emotional, and that's completely justified.
the thing is, when you see footage, you got to understand, right, that because someone's putting that footage there to manipulate you, right?
No, it's literally what happens.
and
It's just CCTV cameras that are just placed there, and hours upon hours of how this job takes place is shown to the world.
Yeah, but
it's not edited. It's not propaganda.
They're not showing them like the whole life of the animal, right? They're maybe showing them just that one thing. Now,
I mean, the slaughterhouse is a big part of the animal's life. I mean, we're sending them there. It don't, like an animal could live the most amazing, like beautiful, joyous life imaginable. Yeah. But if we're still sending them to the slaughterhouse at the end of it, we're still doing them a disservice and betraying.
Obviously you can improve the slaughterhouses. Maybe the prices go up a little bit. You can campaign for that. That's okay. But the problem is that you're watching these videos and you're getting really upset. It's a very effeminate thing to do. Do you know what I mean? Like watching a video and getting emotional.
There's nothing wrong with being emotional. Like you should embrace those feelings, my friends.
Very, it's not logical, right? You're not thinking it through. You're just like, and then you have this moral superiority because I saw somebody get hurt. I got upset. I'm such a great person. I'm gonna stop.
No, but that's virtue signaling. If you're virtue signaling, if you just say words without doing anything. I'm actively going out. I'm trying to have conversations with people. I'm making direct action.
Look, you are probably some of the more down to earth vegans, okay? So let's be realistic here. Like you're not representing. You're a bit more of a down-to-earth one compared to most others. Yeah.
Well, we should never just because. I mean, this is just the way human beings work in general, anyway. Like a Muslim, a Christian, a vegan, an omnivore, whatever. Yeah. People are just weird. People say stupid things. Don't let them discourage you or mock the actual overall message. Because the overall message about veganism is about animals. It's not about us. It's not about the vegans. It's about.
But do you accept that at some point animals will have to die?
I mean, well, we all have to die, but we should all just die naturally. We shouldn't be killed against our will.
Do you accept that humans will have to eat animals at some point?
For what reason? Not in this world. Not in the country.
What about ritual?
Well, no, I don't think that's a good.
Just imagine that for 1,000 years that we became vegans, and no one's ever killed an animal. No one's ever tasted it, an animal. No one's actually done the act of killing an animal. Do you think that there's some value in just doing this act?
For what? What benefit is that going to bring humanity?
Because it is something that people might want to see, right?
What, see someone die?
Yeah. Which is part of life, isn't it? Part of the cycle of life.
Yeah, well, dying naturally should be the cycle of life,
but so it's like if you watch an animal hunt another animal,
I know, nature is barbaric.
Yeah, exactly, So sometimes you can't hide it barbaric
But we shouldn't be basing our ethics ever. We should be what happens in the wild and in nature, we should never be basing our own ethics.
Why not?
Because it's completely barbaric. Animals do crazy stuff.
It's not barbaric, it's natural.
Yeah, natural for them, but just because something's natural doesn't automatically mean it's moral, does it?
But it doesn't make it immoral, does it?
Well, I mean, I think we'd both agree that rape is immoral. Yeah.
But is it natural though?
Yeah.
So then how can it be immoral?
Also, do you think rape is moral or immoral?
But if it's natural, the animals do it. For them, it's moral, right? Because it's natural.
Yeah. Well, no, but that's
for us in the city. It's different.
It's called an appeal to nature fallacy, like basing ethics on what happens in nature. Just because something happens in nature doesn't justify it and make it moral. Lions eat their own children if they're really weak. If they're really like runts and they just offer nothing to the pack, a lion will eat their own children. So and that's completely natural. And I would say that's highly, unethical for us to do in our own society.
Yeah, but that's us. That's the thing. That's us in a society. Right?
Yeah. So that's what happens in nature. That's natural. That's a natural thing.
If the lion didn't do that, right? Obviously, what I'm saying is the lion is doing that. Now you're passing judgment on the lion, saying he's a bad lion for doing that. But you don't know how the lion lives, right? You don't know it's evolution, right?
But the main thing I'm saying,
you know religious, right? Like you're obviously not religious, so you probably believe in evolution. So when these animals do stuff, it's for a reason, right? It may seem bad to you in your Western society, your soft, soft society.
No, I understand what happens in the wild.
It might seem bad to you. He's an evil animal. But it's part of evolution, you get what I'm saying? So you got to respect it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying we should base our own ethics as a society based on what they do. We should keep that separate, what they do.
But what I'm saying is, in nature, humans eat animals,
Well, animals eat animals.
And animals eat animals, right? So the baseline is that this behavior is okay.
No,
now, if you want to argue that is not okay, then you need to make some kind of next level arguments, right? To say that it's not okay. Right? And you have to respect that in nature. Like the problem with people like yourself and the West and modern society is that we've gone away from like the natural order of things, right? And you know, you use the word rape to me, right? Like, you know, like obviously rape shouldn't happen in a city and it shouldn't really happen anywhere, but obviously it may have happened, you know, in a war or something. And you know, these things, bad things happen, right? Like, because we live in such a safe society that you can't say any bad thing. Like, if someone disciplines a child, right, you know, the police will come and take them away. Like, because we live in a society now where I bet if there was a woman here and there was a kid there and his father disciplined the kid, the woman would be like, what are you doing? Probably go and tell him, you can't do that to the kid. You can't like discipline the kid. You gotta give him the kid what he wants. Because people are so weak here, they're so incapable of tolerating any kind of suffering in others, even if it's important, and they think they're so clever that they're always interfering and always trying to tell people this is what you got to do. So, you know, I think that you got to be more respectful of like nature, of evolution, and if you see something's bad, and you don't like it, you got to understand that it's not your choice, right? To say that you can't eat meat. You get what I'm saying? It's not really your choice to say that. That you can't say it's morally wrong because and there's things you don't even know, you know, that the consequences of your actions, you don't actually know. Maybe, yeah, because of we become vegans, cows might not even exist in the future.
Yeah.
I'd rather cows would exist and in this situation than not exist at all. But you don't even know that. Cows may not exist. If everyone went vegan, they probably won't.
Well, the cows that exist at this moment in time, we've actually genetically modified that they're so far removed from the actual original species of cow.
Yeah.
Like when we breed animals, we selectively breed them to be, you know, to grow the fastest and like the most amount of flesh and everything on them. So yeah, we've actually. The cows, the original species of cows, don't even exist. We've got this new species that we've genetically selectively bred and modified.
Domesticated animals, right? They're not wild animals, so obviously they maybe could not survive.
But I mean, it sounds like your main argument is that because we have the ability, because we're strong, we should be able to do it. Is that what you're saying?
That's not exactly what I'm saying. I mean, what I was trying to say is it's part of nature.
But no, we just said a moment ago that, like, you know, the lion eating their children, that was bad, yeah? That's part of nature.
It's not bad.
So,
not for the lion. Why would he do it? I mean,
yeah, but so if we
it's not like someone who went to the lion and said you should do this.
Okay, would it be bad
right?
if a human did it then?
Yeah, bad for human did it.
Right, so therefore you're do you know what cherry picking is? You're picking the things that you like from a certain topic, but discarding the other sides of it?
No, I don't think that's cherry picking.
Of course it is.
Cherry picking, because you said about the lion eating a kid, right? No. And you cherry picked that particular situation, and then you cherry picked.
Oh no, because I'm saying we shouldn't be basing anything on what happens in nature on our own ethics.
But we live
society.
in nature.
We're very far removed from nature. Cities aren't natural.
We're still breathing in air.
Yeah. We're completely far removed from nature. We wear our clothes and we can buy all our food in the supermarket. Like lions don't go and hunt in the supermarket,
originally
do they?
it comes from nature, right? Like,
well, no, like slaughterhouses and factory farms aren't natural, are they? They're man-made built objects, and we're forcibly.
Yeah,
some of it. I mean, like it's all fenced off.
Look, your intelligence, where does it come from? From nature, right?
It's luck, I suppose. It's luck.
I'm not saying you got. I'm saying whatever intelligence you have. Yeah. I'm not saying you're lucky. You might be unlucky. Yeah. Right.
I'm very unlucky.
But wherever you are, your intelligence, your ability to speak, is all coming from nature, isn't it? Yeah. So you can't go against it because.
No, I'm not going against nature. All I'm saying is that we shouldn't be using nature as a parameter of ethical principles and things. Just because something happens in nature doesn't mean it's ethically, moral in our civilization.
Yeah, not necessarily, but it's a good starting point, isn't it? Because it's natural, right? So we got to start from somewhere, and I think starting from what's natural.
Yeah, but that's when I can say, like, well, these other things happen in nature.
Yeah.
So therefore, we wouldn't justify doing that because that happens in nature. Yeah. Therefore, we really can't justify anything.
No,
because that's what cherry picking is. You're basically saying it's okay to do this, but it's not okay to do this.
No, I don't understand, right? What you're saying. Look, if something is part of nature. The argument you just made, I don't understand it by cherry picking. Say that again.
Well, so you're saying like because animals eat animals, that's it's just a natural thing to do. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah. That's like moral and ethical. We can do that.
Yeah, I mean it's a starting point where you can obviously, if there were some environmental issues, we could obviously become vegan if we had to, right? But as a moral position, because animals eat other animals, as a starting point, I think that's natural. We've been
and that's natural. Yeah, but I'm saying. animals eat their own children, and that's natural, and they do that.
Yeah, so.
But we would never do that.
Yeah, but that's because we're humans.
Yeah. But you're so see here.
Is there something wrong? Hold on. You use this argument right now about these animals, right? You're trying to make out like, it's like you're trying to push me into a corner, but make me admit no. Now, obviously, if I was a lion, like, I'm assuming that a lion, what he's doing when he eats his kids, right, is a good thing to do for himself,
for his
family. You know, I mean, the lion. Obviously, I assume that lion cares about his children, right? Because they seem to protect them, you know, when they need to. So I'm not going to think a lion is an evil being because he probably does it because he has to do it, right? And you know, you trying to put a lion down because he eats his kid, act like you're morally superior to a lion because the lion's eating his own kid, right? It's because he's making a sacrifice, right? Like you're not capable of baking, right? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you don't know that. I've never been in a situation where I've never.
He made a sacrifice. The lion made a sacrifice because he knew that his kid was probably going to die anyway, right? And that energy, you didn't want it to go to waste, right? So he made a sacrifice because life isn't easy. There is a sacrifice, right? You can look down on the sacrifice, say, you know, I live in the West, I got all food, I'm free, you know, this thing is barbaric, right? But he can you couldn't make that sacrifice. Yeah. You can't. If you saw an animal bleed, you probably faint or something, and then you probably think I'm a good person.
No, I wouldn't. Trust me, I wouldn't. The thing is though, me and you are both living in a situation where we don't need to make sacrifices.
Yeah.
So you have a choice. Yeah. Every single day you have a choice when you go into a supermarket. You can choose to buy products that are based on exploitation. You continue to fund that exploitation, or you can buy products that don't. So it's a choice you make. You can choose to exploit animals, you can choose not to.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when you talk about exploitation, okay, as far as history goes, right, as far as I know, humans evolved by exploiting animals. The reason we evolved to the state we're in is because we were pastoral, we had cows and used to, you know, like live off the milk of the cows. It's quite high energy food. And that pastoralism, you know, people talk about living in cities and farming, but pastoralism was actually more important before like cities came about. And so I think that animal domestication is a very ancient thing as well, like very old. Like before we did farming, we had animal domestication. So that's only something which you don't know, right? Because you don't know everything, right?
No, I know.
You don't know everything, right? So
I know more. I know more about nothing than I know about anything.
Yeah, maybe, but yeah. So animals. So you know, these things need to be taken in context, and you know. Yeah.
All right. So the strongest argument, moral argument that's consistent, is something called name the traits.
Yeah.
So basically, it means like because say we would never accept humans being used the way we use animals, non-humans, for food. And people would try and justify that based on something like intelligence. Say because non-humans aren't as smart as humans, it justifies us exploiting the non-human. Yeah. But like to stay morally consistent and logically consistent, you'd have to then say, okay, well, is it then justified to kill any human that has the same intelligence level as a chicken or a pig? Or if that's the trait, that justifies killing the animal. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
so what is the difference? What is the trait of an animal that makes it morally justifiable to kill the animal?
I don't play this game.
What do you mean you don't play the game?
It's a stupid game. Humans and animals. You're saying that why do we eat animals but not humans?
Yeah.
And what's the difference?
Yeah.
But that's not.
Like, what's the moral difference?
There's no moral difference. Humans decided that we're not going to eat humans. We don't eat each other.
So it comes down. It really does come down to might equals
what
right.
You need to do, right?
So if I was stronger than you,
what you need to do, right? You need to go back to about 10,000 years or 20,000 years, okay? And then you need to ask people, why have you started eating animals and you don't eat humans? Then you go and ask them.
Why would I do that?
You need the answer.
How does that make any difference?
That's the answer to your question, because you asked the question, why do we eat animals and not humans?
Yeah.
So I'm saying, why don't you go, when you started eating animals, and ask them, why do you eat animals and not humans, okay? But this argument that you're making, okay, that because animals and humans are all living things, because we eat, you're basically saying, because I eat a cow, I should eat a human.
No, I'm saying because you don't eat a human, you shouldn't eat a cow.
Conversely, what you're saying, right?
I'm saying eat neither. I'm saying stop killing others for a completely unnecessary reason, because it's highly unethical and very selfish to kill someone else who has just as much right to live on this planet as you do.
Look, this is not a rational. What you're saying, right?
It is rational. I can completely logically.
But you're saying because I'm talking to you, I got to talk to this guy as well.
No, not. I didn't say that. That's a straw man. You understand what a straw man is?
You're trying to make these like logical arguments.
Do you understand what a straw man is?
Yeah, the reason why, okay, I eat animal and not a human,
Yeah.
I don't know what the logical reason for it is,
Yeah.
but it just happens to be that way, okay, it's part of nature,
Yeah.
it's part of how most animals actually are.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to go to a lion and say, why do you eat a zebra, why don't you eat another lion? It doesn't make sense.
Because you can't communicate with a lion. Can you? If you try to talk to a lion, the lion will probably eat you. So I wouldn't advise you trying to talk to a lion.
Yeah, but look, what you're making, okay, is reductio ad absurdum, right? Right? You're saying that because I eat a cow, I should eat a human.
No, I'm not saying that.
That's what
I'm not.
saying.
No, you're putting words in my mouth. I did not say that.
No, what you're saying then.
No, we can watch this back and we can categorically.
You're saying, that because if I treat one thing in a certain way, I'm obliged to treat everything.
No, you're trying to make a moral justification to harm an animal, right? And you couldn't use that same justification to harm a human because you knew that would be wrong. But you're contradicting yourself. You're coming up with a double standard.
No, I'm not. I'm saying, what do you mean? How?
Because you can't because there's no moral justification to harm an animal.
Why I should?
To harm a
Because
non-human.
human morality applies to humans.
And humans are more powerful than animals. Look,
So yeah, might equals right. So hypothetically, if I was to be a bigger, stronger human being than you are, I could just do what I like with you, and there'd be no moral issue with that whatsoever in your position.
Might is right is probably the best way for anything to survive, to live. That's probably the best system in any system. And the reason is, people who are more might tend to be more intelligent as well, and they get power through intelligence mostly, right? Like, if you look at any society, human society, the most intelligent one, the most powerful one, is not just the biggest, strongest one with the most guns. It's normally got the most intelligence, the most knowledge, the most social skills, the most friends, right? And the most justice. That's how they become powerful. And so might is right, it's true, okay, to an extent. And the reason why humans are so intelligent is because we started eating animals in the first place, that we were able to get more energy.
No, that's a complete lie.
That's why we went to Mars.
No, that's a complete lie.
That's why we create civilization.
You just made
That's
that
why
up.
we know the universe.
You just made that up.
Because sometimes people have to suffer. Okay, do you get what I'm saying? Animals gotta suffer. That's the way it is. We try to minimize it, but people are gonna have to suffer. And if you can't accept it,
I can completely accept it. I accept how immoral my species is.
It's not immoral. It's not immoral.
It is.
It's not immoral.
Unnecessary exploitation is completely immoral.
So all these animals that are surviving, all of life is immoral, right? Is that what you're saying? All of life is immoral. It's all immoral. All of life is immoral.
Well, yeah, like anytime anyone's being killed against their will, I mean,
You're-
we've got an
you're-
ethical
The
situation
problem with you
going
is
on
you're a nihilist. You're a nihilist because you think all life is immoral. Because if a lion eats another deer, it's immoral. But lions can just die. Well, why is he eating another deer for?
Yeah, because to survive. And it has no moral agency. Like a lion will never be sad
What do you
about
mean,
killing and eating an animal
How do you know?
alive.
How do you know it?
They have no problem doing it whatsoever.
Of course not, because it's natural. But if
Yeah.
a lion's kid died,
But like majority of the human beings, if we were to like slit the throat of an animal, like most human beings would feel sad, feel empathy for that animal.
that's because you're weak. That's why.
You reckon?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're weak. Because if you were dying,
I'm stronger minded.
if you were dying and you had no food and only an animal,
That's not the situation I'm
But
living
if you
in.
were dying,
Yeah.
okay, and you saw an animal dying,
Yeah.
okay, and you eat it, you wouldn't start feeling sad. You would go and hunt it, right? So
That's
you're
what's-
only saying this shit because you're living in such comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky to be living in a situation where others don't have to be harmed for my existence, and I'll try to reduce that suffering as much as possible.
What about
And
the
that is-
people who get harmed, across the world when your government goes to invade their country for your little comfort?
Yeah, what do you think? I'm happy that happens.
Yeah, but
I have no say over that.
what I'm saying is the only reason you got discomfort is because, okay, people are suffering, animals are suffering, people are suffering, and in the past people have suffered, and you can't separate. You're trying to separate it out. You can't separate it out, You can't separate it out. There's going to be suffering in the world, and what you need to like your morality is based upon not harming others. Okay, that's okay as one part of your morality, but it's not the whole thing. So you gotta have respect for the fact that, like, I tell you what, a lion, right? A lion will eat a deer, yeah. Now, a lion is a phenomenal animal. Right? A tiger is a phenomenal physical being, right? It's a phenomenal, like,
Perfectly
powerful-
designed to hunt and kill animals.
It's a perfect being.
Yeah.
It's
Not
a
like
beau-
us. We can't hunt and kill animals.
It's a beautiful being. It's got value, right? Just its existence. Okay, just the way it looks. Okay, it's beautiful. It's got value. It's powerful. It's fast. It's agile. The tiger, the lion. If it didn't exist, right, it would be a shame. Now, for it to exist, for that beauty to exist, it's got to eat another animal and destroy it and kill it, right? So on the one hand, you got this hunting, death, destruction, pain for another animal. And on the other hand, you got a beautiful lion, right? I want them both. But you want neither. You know what I'm saying? Well, you want neither. You're saying we don't want the pain, so we're going to sacrifice that.
Sacrifice? What's the sacrifice? What am I sacrificing?
You're sacrificing the lion.
How?
Because you're saying that...
But I'm not interfering.
No, but...
I'm never going to interfere with the lion.
What you're saying, right, is that, you know, you're basically saying that... I'm saying that this... The excellence of the lion, okay, is worth the thing dying, right? And having pain, because there's two sides. You have good stuff in life and you have bad stuff, right? But you're saying that you're just looking at the bad stuff, so you're going to get rid of the good stuff as well. That's what this West, people like you in the West, these like these SJWs that we care about everyone. That's what you guys are like.
And I'm logically consistent, my friend. That's all I am being. I'm being logically consistent, and you are not being logically consistent in the slightest.
No, I'm not afraid to. Yeah. All right, that's what you think, but I don't think that. But that's okay. I think we covered most of the points.
Most of the points. Yeah, you don't want to play name the trait then. Name the trait that justifies killing an animal. I mean, what's your might makes right then? You're basically saying like because we're stronger, that's it.
Well, if you want to play name the trait, I would say that I think that I've never tasted a human before, but I'd imagine that a cow probably tastes better than a human, right? And like for me personally, I can't imagine eating a human, right? So I would eat a cow, but I would not eat a human. Okay, now. You put me on camera saying why I don't eat a human, it's a pretty funny thing, but I don't imagine looking at a human that's going to taste very good, right, compared to a cow.
So sensory pleasure, it's okay to exploit others based on the enjoyment that you get.
See, when you eat food, it's a biological thing, right? It's not a rational thing. And we're animals, so we eat food. We're driven by our emotions, our senses, our sensory things like you say, taste. Yeah, all of these things are there to give us to guide us to do what is beneficial for us for survival, right, and evolution. Okay, and you can call it sensory pleasure if you like, but that's part of nature and that's what makes us survive, right? So
when you see an animal, have you ever seen a pig or a cow or a chicken, or have you seen slaughterhouse footage? Do you get hungry when you see slaughterhouse footage? Like when you see an animal having their throat slit?
But the other day I gutted a fish, but...
Did it make you feel hungry?
Yeah.
It made you feel hungry? Okay. Well, that's slightly different. Most people, majority of the population wouldn't feel hungry from
gutting a fish.
I don't think most people would.
That's because they're weak.
You reckon? And you're strong? And you're strong because you can kill the weak? Because like all the animals that we kill are like innocent, vulnerable, defenseless creatures. Hold on, because also like saying this whole like might equals right and the struggle against the animal kingdom. Because basically, when you eat a chicken, and saying might equals right, it's the equivalent of like say kicking a baby and saying you want a street fight. Because all the animals that we eat are so defenseless, so vulnerable. They're so timid. They're so.
What I'm saying, right, is that you can have this, you can have your morality, right? You can be all up there. When you're hungry, and you don't have nothing to eat, then we're going to see where your morality.
That's a different situation,
where your morality disappears.
But we're talking about.
So how can you have a morality when you're? Because what you said about people eating fish, and they don't feel hungry when they cut a fish or something, but they're still going to eat it, but they just don't want to. That's what I'm saying. They're soft because they don't want to see that the guts.
We have an option. You can just eat plants.
But they'll go
you can just eat plants.
But they'll go to the shop and they'll buy the fish fillet because it's nice and clean. But they don't want to see the guts because they're like you. They don't want to see suffering. Put it under the table.
But you want to see suffering, do you?
I'd rather see it than
you want to. I mean, if you can what would you rather run? Like minimise suffering or maximise suffering?
What about the other side? What about the advantage that people get, like for instance, if you eat meat, you get taste or.
But you can replicate the taste.
Like if
there's the only way like
I can replicate it. What are you talking about?
Mate, there's so many different versions.
I don't believe in this science bullshit.
No, there's no. The only reason the only reason you like the way meat tastes is the way it's cooked and the way it's flavoured. And the way it's flavoured is like herbs, spices, and vegan products. Like you wouldn't like the way meat tasted, animal flesh tasted raw.
How do you know?
Well, I don't know.
I probably wouldn't like it as much. But I'll probably get used to it, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Milk tastes okay.
Yeah. Don't you think it's weird that we drink milk from another species? Like, what's milk designed for?
actually got nutritional value
Whose milk designed for?
for us.
Well, a cow produces milk for us. What does our mums produce milk for?
Children.
For their children, yeah. So like all other like species that produce milk do the same thing. Like they produce milk when they're pregnant, give birth to a child, and that milk is intended to get that child as strong and fit and grow them as quickly as possible. So cow's milk is perfectly designed for a baby cow.
Do you understand how what do you call it? The circle of life works. Do you understand? Like we have small life forms, and then things feed on that, and then things feed on that, and things feed on that.
I'm very aware.
So you understand that, right?
Yeah.
So you know how this works, isn't it?
Yeah, we can feed off plants.
You know when I go to work, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you think I'm going to work to make my boss rich? For myself?
I have no idea.
Obviously I don't want to go to work, yeah, to make my boss rich. I want to make myself rich, innit? But I can't help it. So when a cow, maybe doesn't want me to drink his milk.
No. Well, because like the way we get milk is we forcefully impregnate the cows. The farmer sticks his fist into the cow's anus and injects all semen into her. It takes her 9 months to give birth to a child. If it's a boy calf, they just kill them or send them off to the veal industry, because in the dairy industry, male calves are useless. And as a female, they just put her off into a tiny pen, feed her, and when she's big enough to be forcefully impregnated, they go through that same cycle. They do that for about 6-7 years until the cow can't produce any more milk, and then they often go to the slaughterhouse. I mean, is that fair? Like for just milk in our tea and our cereal?
I think it's okay.
You think that's okay? Yeah.
I mean,
could we forcibly impregnate humans?
Imagine we never had milk.
Could we force? Would you?
Imagine we never had milk.
Yeah, it'd be great. But the thing is that we only need milk from we need milk when we're children, trying to get healthy as quickly as possible. We stop breastfeeding when we're around 2 years old. I don't know the actual age, but something around there. But we continue drinking breast milk from another species when we're adults. It's mental.
Do you know about lactose tolerance?
Yeah. Was it like 75% of the population are lactose intolerant? We're not designed to be drinking another species' milk.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
So do you know when humans became what about Europeans? How many of them are lactose tolerant?
It's less. It's about 50 or 60%. I think so. Like
50% is lactose tolerant. Where did that tolerance come from?
Where did the tolerance come from?
50%, isn't it?
Oh, so yeah, the tolerance is getting better because we're drinking more of it, so we're becoming more tolerant towards it. Even though we're designed to be intolerant from the milk from other species.
How can we be designed to be intolerant if we actually have evolved the genes for lactose tolerance?
Well, I suppose if we keep on just drinking it, then our bodies probably will become. I mean, like evolution takes millions of years.
Yeah, exactly. So we became tolerant.
Well, we're not supposed to be drinking the milk from another species. There's literally nothing. Like when.
What do you mean supposed to?
Well, we don't need to.
So if we eat plants, we're supposed to. So the plant is growing for us to eat it, is it?
Oh, I mean, like the plants sustain life. It gives life. I mean,
are you saying that we can eat plants because the plant is growing for us to eat it?
Well, we have to.
But the cow doesn't give milk for us to drink it. But somehow the plants are existing, like they're giving food, like for us, like they actually like that's. Like, you're saying there's a difference between a plant giving food for us and a cow giving milk for us. You're saying there's a difference there?
Yeah. Well, because one, the cow doesn't give milk for us. We take the milk from them.
We take the plants as well, though.
Yeah. And also, like a cow's sentient. As you know what sentience is, they have their own subjective view of reality. They can feel pain. Plants aren't sentient, so they're just like objects. So yeah, like there's no moral issue when you use an inanimate object, like a something, a non-sentient.
It seems like you're making an arbitrary distinction here. You're actually saying that because this thing.
No, there's no. The distinction is sentience, and it's not arbitrary in the slightest.
If I see a beautiful painting, and I go and destroy it, right?
Yeah.
But that painting doesn't have any sentience, so is it okay for me to destroy it?
I mean, it's not okay. I mean, there's no ethical issue there.
So then, what I'm saying, like, I think you're just making an arbitrary distinction, but it's up to you. You can make it.
I'm not. No, there's nothing arbitrary.
This thing about sentient, okay. So if I'm a human, I have more sentience than a cow.
Yeah.
So I should be able to eat a cow, isn't it?
No.
Because I've got more sentience.
Just all. But you're going to have more sentience than some humans. Like, yeah. Does that mean you can eat those humans?
But according to you, yes.
No, it doesn't. No. I'm saying that let's eat nothing.
But you're saying I can eat a plant.
Oh, yeah, eat the plants.
It's got less sentience.
But it hasn't got any sentience.
Well, that's less than, isn't it?
There's none. It's like zero. It's got zero sentience.
So the plant doesn't grow towards the sun.
Yeah,
the
but
tree doesn't grow towards the sun.
Of course they do.
So how does it go towards the sun if they've got no
Because
sentience?
that's reacting on reacting on stimuli.
If I do that, that's what you're doing as well, right?
Huh?
That's what sentience is, though. It's reacting to stimuli, isn't
No,
it?
sentience is the.
You said it's subjective knowledge of the world, right? So it's obviously got knowledge of the world if it can react to where the sun is, right?
No, well, like a breathalyzer reacts when we blow into the breathalyzer. That doesn't make the breathalyzer sentient, does it? Like it's reacting to stimuli, but we're never like in the way like a calculator. We type in the numbers, etc. Press a button, it reacts, it produces another number. It doesn't mean it's sentient. Like plants literally just react to the sun and the.
That's what animals do, though, isn't it?
No, well, animals literally have a brain, don't they? So they don't have a brain. They don't have a heart. They don't have a central nervous system.
It works differently. So what?
Yeah.
You're making arbitrary. Look, a tree is still a complex thing. It still has complex biology, right? It still functions.
Yeah. And we should respect.
It still got roots. It can go towards water. It can go towards the sun.
And we should respect them.
Yeah,
and you know the best way to respect plants is by not feeding them to animals and then eating the animal. Like say eating cows, it takes roughly 16 kilograms of plant protein to produce 1 kilogram of animal protein. So we kill way more plants when we filter those nutrients through the animal when we can just eat those plants directly.
That's fine. Look, I'm not talking about. All I was talking about, okay, is your moral kind of position on this. But these arguments about efficiency, okay, that's up to you. That's okay. I don't disagree with them. But obviously, yeah.
But what is the difference between humans and non-humans that makes it okay to hurt the non-humans but not okay to hurt the humans?
Let me ask you a question, yeah?
Okay. I mean, I've asked you one and you're refusing to answer that.
I'm going to answer it, yeah? We live in England, yeah?
Yeah.
Why is it okay, yeah, for us, yeah, for a British person to use the NHS, yeah, but for a person from France who can't use the NHS?
Yeah, I mean, healthcare should be free for every single person on this planet.
Why is it that when I go out to a restaurant, or if I go to get food, I'm going to get a drink for me and I'm going to drink it, but I'm not going to give it to you?
Yeah.
Why do I do stuff for myself and not for somebody else?
Yeah, because we have a preference of making ourselves happy over other people. Yeah,
exactly. So that's why we eat other animals.
Yeah, but
humans.
But our enjoyment shouldn't come at the expense of someone else.
Well, you can say that, but that's not true, is it?
But the thing is that you wouldn't justify your enjoyment. You wouldn't say a rapist could basically say, I love sex so much and I get so much enjoyment from sex, I'll just rape anyone, man, woman, anyone.
Yeah, that's fine. They'll go to prison, isn't it?
Yeah.
You might get killed. You might get tortured, right?
Yeah.
But you might die a very. You might not be.
But law just
we
because
can make it so it's not worth it for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
just because something's legal doesn't mean it's moral, though, does it? Legality doesn't equal morality.
I don't understand.
Like there's been many laws that have existed in human history that we would deem immoral now. Say in America, it used to be legal to have slaves. You could literally own them. In our country, it used to be legal that women couldn't vote. It used to be illegal for them to vote.
What I'm saying is, you talk about rape. I'm saying whether we live in a legal society or not, if someone was living in the village and raping everyone, obviously that person would get, you get dealt with by people in the village, right? We are social creatures at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, we look after each other.
Exactly, right? Now we look after the tribe, we look after the village, we look after each other. If you were to faint right now, I might call the police. Yeah.
The police, or call the ambulance.
Yeah, I might call the ambulance. Yeah. But if an animal was to faint, like if a bird was to drop and faint, I'm not going to call the ambulance, am I?
No, but you can still try and help the animal, can't you? There's nothing stopping you.
Why don't you, when you see a dead bird, call the ambulance? See how it works out for you.
Well, because I know it won't. I know they won't do anything. I understand the reality of the society I live in.
But, yeah, okay, cool. But I think that's a good point. I think that, why don't you make an argument that says, why don't we try to save animals like we save human lives? Why don't we have animals in hospital?
Yeah.
Why don't we put this,
Things like you don't say. So I'm an activist. So I'm an animal rights activist. I literally go out of my way and I try to inspire others to make positive changes in their life. That has the benefit of others. But the thing is that you don't have to do that. Like say hypothetically you went vegan today. That doesn't mean you then have to turn into an activist and start talking about these matters. You can still have all the things that you cherish and you value, and you can keep on doing those things. But the beauty of veganism is a non-action. It means it's not taking part in it. So when you go to the supermarket, instead of buying animal products, you buy something else. say hypothetically you're going to buy yourself a leather jacket or a fur jacket, something like that, something from animals, an animal product, and you just buy something else. And it's basically just not taking part in it. It's not funding zoos, it's not funding cosmetics or any products that were tested on animals, and it's just that. And there's so many alternatives that we have now. It's so easy to live a vegan
That's fine,
lifestyle.
you can be a vegan, yeah? But just don't expect me to think that because of it you're going to get some points from me or
I'm not looking for points from you, my friend. I'm not looking for any
special
points.
respect.
I'm not looking for it.
Yeah?
I'm not looking for
If it makes you happy, that's good.
Yeah.
But listen, it's not enough for you to have some high social status.
I'm not asking for that.
As long as that, because I see a lot of people, they're jumping on a bandwagon, they want their social status.
I mean, have I put you down in this conversation?
They want to have something to believe in, they want to be part of it. And some of them, the reason they join vegans is because they think there's nice girls there. Right,
okay.
So I see some people, I know because I see some of these people, yeah? That's why they join veganism.
There's a lot of nice girls in the vegan movement.
Those vegans,
There's a lot of nice people in the vegan movement.
Those vegans, they don't get any of them girls anyway. So, I'm saying, do it for the right reason.
Yeah, do it for the animals. You do it for the animals, and that's like that's what veganism is. It's about others, and we can.
But if you look in India, you got these Hindus, right, and they're vegetarians, but they don't talk the way you guys talk, and they don't like in India. You got Muslims who are meat eaters, yeah, and they're allowed to eat meat. But the problem with you guys, I think if you guys were 8% of the population of this country, like with your attitude, you have big problems. Like you would not be tolerant of other people who are not meat eaters because your logic and your arguments are all absolutist and flawed. That's only I'm gonna say. I think we're done now with that.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Nice one.
Nice talking to you. Okay.
Nice.
Take care.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Content over everything. From your man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. Listen. COE.
And you're planning from Ethiopian or the Bangladesh from India. I am Jewish. So I'm explaining to you now, there are Kohanim priests from the tribe of Dan, from Ethiopia, who came to Israel in 1948. They came in 1948 and 1950. They came with the same Torah, they came with the same customs, and guess what? They came with the exact same laws of the priests that the Ashkenazi priests, who never had WhatsApp, didn't have email, didn't have